Hey y'all, welcome back to the Empowering the Future of Agriculture podcast with me, Carson Osteen. Today, I am joined by the 2024-2025 Middle Tennessee Regional Reporter, Miracle Brown. Miracle, if you'd like to introduce yourself, go ahead.
Absolutely. Hello, everyone. So, as Carson said, my name is Miracle Brown. And yes, I currently am serving as the 2024-2025 Middle Tennessee Regional Reporter. But to know a little bit more about me, currently I'm a senior at Lebanon High School, and I'm also serving as the Lebanon FFA Chapter Vice President. And even outside of FFA, I'm involved in 4 H, where I serve as a Wilson County 4 H Healthy Living Ambassador. I love all things agriculture, agricultural advocacy, and I'm so grateful when Carson asked me to be on this podcast because I really think what he's doing is indeed empowering the future of agriculturalists.
Perfect. So, I have a handful of questions that I'm going to ask you today. And to start off with, do you want to give a little rundown of what your FFA journey has looked like over the years?
Yes, I can. So I started my FFA journey a lot like most people in freshman year. I never really had an agriculture background. So when I was in my freshman year, I went to my counselor and we were talking about the different classes I wanted to take. And she said that I had the option between biology and agri-science. And because at the time I thought, oh, I don't have to take biology. Let's just take agri-science. Turns out I did still have to take biology, but we figured that out sophomore year. But anyways, I took the agri-science class and I remember walking in the first day and I'll be honest, I was terrified. I was extremely nervous, worried, and just full of immediate regret, but it didn't take long for it to turn into immense relief and satisfaction that I took an ag class. I met my advisors for the first time, and they introduced me to the contest that really kickstarted my FFA journey, the Creed Speaking LDE. So, in my class, we all learned the Creed. It was something that's in our instructions as Greenhead members, as agri-science students. We learned the Creed. And when I said it in my freshman class, my advisor pulled me aside one day and said, "You have a really good public speaking voice." Now, keep in mind, I used to do a lot of theater. So in my mind, I was like, oh, well, I'm just acting. Like this is nothing. This is super simple. And my advisor, he was like, "Do you want to compete in the competition?" And I was like, "You know what? Yeah, why not?" I honestly, I've always been a kind of a why not person. Like, just try it, get the experience. And I competed in the Creed speaking competition. And I remember placing first in the district, and that being my first ever competition, I was over the moon. Something in me was telling me that FFA, I needed to stick with it. Just like keep going, keep sticking with it. Now, I didn't get much farther after district, but Creed Speaking definitely kickstarted a bunch of the other competitions that I've done throughout my high school journey. Prepared public speaking, nursery and landscape, parliamentary procedure are some of my highlighted contests as my favorites. And that that's kind of where my FFA journey kind of started, I'd say. Yeah.
Awesome. And yeah, you answered perfectly into the next question of what are some of the favorites that you have had in FFA. And I mean, those competitions are some of the best. I've only given my shot at Creed out of the ones you mentioned, but
Yeah.
there's something for everyone in there. So like we began the episode by saying, you are Middle Tennessee regional officer, and I know y'all's process is way different than West Tennessee. I
Oh,
mean, first
yes.
off, y'all have to wait like a month or so to figure it out. We know in like 2 hours.
Yes.
But would you want to walk through the process that you went through to become a Middle Tennessee regional officer?
Absolutely. So I want to start off first by saying that with anyone running for regional office, the process is definitely going to look different, whether that is your FFA journey, how your chapter prepares you. And I personally really like the way that my chapter had prepared me for regional office. So I kind of expressed interest in wanting to run for regional office my sophomore year after attending the Cultivate and Emerge. or actually, at the time it was Connect I Am. This past year it was Cultivate Emerge, but at the time it was Connect I Am. And after attending the conference on the car ride home, my advisor had told me that some of the facilitators had gave like really positive feedback about my participation and had genuinely saw that I was taking stuff like out of the conference, and that really made me happy. And my advisor just happened to bring up like if I had ever wanted to get more involved, regional office was always on the table. And I remember he said that, and it always stuck with me in the back of my head. But it wasn't until after I did my own research as to what the regional officers really did. And we, for Lebanon FFA, we had a past regional officer, Kaylee Scott. She was absolutely incredible, a huge mentor of mine. Still talk to her to this day. She's so lovely. And just my advisors telling me about her year of service and how much she was not only able to contribute to our chapter but bring to the region and even to the state. Like, it really inspired me and convinced me that I wanted to run. So it was in my junior year that I had first started going to prep courses. And the first prep course I ever went to was the one at MTSU. It was absolutely amazing talking with the professors and mingling with other FFA members. It really put you into perspective of it put the perspective into me as to why I was running and why I wanted this to be on this team so badly. Because I feel like when you have a goal and you're just going for it, you often lose sight of what you're aiming for. It's not just the position, it's the memories, it's the experience, it's the impact, it's everything in between, honestly. And just preparing for regional office, it took a lot of different prep courses and interviewing with my advisors, but I think it also takes some time sitting with yourself and really a part of our application. It's the why I want to serve, and really sitting down and figuring out why you want to serve as a regional officer. And I know it almost sounds corny, and it's like, well, obviously we have to know why we want to serve. But I think really sitting back and figuring my own personal reason why I wanted to serve, why I wanted to run and make all these connections and grow in my FFA journey and impact others in the process. That was definitely a huge part of me preparing to run for regional office for sure.
I always like, because I went to one prep course last year because I was kind of getting my feet in the water, didn't know if I was running. Yeah, that eventually did, but at those prep courses, you kind of see so many people that are just like driven, and that was really one thing that
Yes.
I was really excited to see because of course we had a bunch of state officer candidates, regional officer candidates there, and
Yeah.
just seeing that drive and like the growth that these people want for our organization is really like refreshing. And this kind of ties into our next question. So, what has been one of your favorite things about serving as a regional officer?
Oh my goodness, that is such a hard question. I think probably some of my favorite things, or my favorite thing that I've been able to experience serving as a regional officer is simply connecting with the members, whether it's at an FFA event like here recently, the state fair, being able to talk with all of the FFA members, like not even just in our region, but across the states, and making those impactful connections. They mean so much to me. And just being able to learn other FFA members' stories. I always like quoting the part as the reporter. We um we strive to like exert to every man, woman, and child the importance of the FFA, and I really hold that true to my heart, even in and outside of FFA. And I feel like serving as a regional officer this year, being able to not only showcase the importance of FFA to other people in and out of our organization that might not truly understand the importance of our organization, but also learning from the people that have been involved in FFA. Nothing warms my heart than talking to a freshman member that's really eager to get involved, or a senior that has these fascinating stories about their time within the FFA and how they've grown to know what they want to do in college and stuff. And now being that senior that can talk to those underclassmen, it's just it's it's a crazy it's a crazy thing, and it I couldn't be more grateful, to put it simply, honestly.
And I have one more question about your regional officer year, and then we're going to get into a bunch of different other things. So,
Yeah.
what is one more thing, or what is one thing that you're looking forward to, like with the rest of your year of service?
Well, coming up, we are having our Green Hand and Discovery Conference. I'm so very excited to put that on, to see all of these upcoming FFA members in Middle Tennessee, just learn more about our organization, learn more about the importance of agriculture. And so our theme, Middle Tennessee FFA, our theme is Go for the Gold, and because it's Olympic year and we're so excited about it. We've been planning so much and just getting all of the decorations and the workshops, and we really want to make this something impactful for the upcoming freshmen. And the main importance that we're trying to exert to our freshman members is that we're all on the same team, like not only in FFA, but I feel like just in life, we should all kind of be on the same team, being able to work with each other, uplift each other, and specifically FFA is a really good opportunity for that. And Green Hand Conference is going to be an amazing experience where all these new members are going to learn more about FFA and hopefully make connections with not only us, but people in their grade, and be able to leave and just tell their advisors, like, wow, this is something I really enjoy. I really want to learn more about FFA and take more ad classes, do that contest that you recommended. Just like it, that is, as of right now, definitely one of the biggest things I'm most looking forward to.
I'm glad that you mentioned, the bringing in the freshmen, all that kind of stuff, because like that's been something that our chapter's been really really big on this year. Like, so like it's weird. I'm just gonna give a little story real quick.
No,
So
yeah.
it's the way that our group is lined up. So the seniors that are there now, we have about 4 or 5 that are like doing stuff. We have 2 officers that are seniors, and then for the
Uh-huh.
juniors right now, it's like everybody else. Um, so like after that class, after my class is pretty much gone, it's you don't know what's going to end up happening. And like something we've started
Right.
realizing this year with our chapter is that we really really have to dig in and like grow the freshmen and do whatever we can with them while we have time. And I know, like you mentioned, like there's so many opportunities for the freshmen, and like I don't know, that's just been something that I've been really big on this year too, just growing them and like getting them in and somehow, and it's worked so far, but we'll see how the rest of the year continues to go.
Yes, genuinely. I feel like if I had not been poured into the way that I was as a freshman, I most definitely would not be where I am today. And I wouldn't be going for the things I'm continuously going for if it wasn't for my advisors and past state officers, FFA alumni in and outside of my chapter. I feel like it's definitely that's a big thing for me in my chapter as a regional officer. It's just pouring into those members who might not understand their potential, but everyone has potential in my eyes. I really think that everyone has the potential to do great things, be a leader, be an impact in their community or wherever they feel they need to be an impact, honestly.
Yeah, and as you were saying that, I was kind of thinking about something, and like, so my whole freshman year was something different to say the least. Like, I did 2 competitions. I didn't really do them. I just went to the clinics, and yeah. But that whole year there was a constant, just somebody was constantly there pouring into me, saying what there is to do, what you can go do with FFA, and like if I mean if I didn't have those people, I probably would not be sitting here doing this right now, or considering future positions, or even going into the agricultural field. Like that's something that's completely shifted. Like FFA has shifted my whole entire career focus. Like
Yeah.
it's definitely something. to say the least. So, um,
That's so awesome, Carson. That's really awesome.
you over this summer you went to the Tennessee Governor School for Agricultural Sciences. Would you want to share a little bit about your experience from that?
Absolutely. I could talk about Gov School for hours. We could just make this whole episode just about Gov School, honestly. But yeah, so the Tennessee Governor School for Agricultural Sciences is a month-long program from May 27th through June 21st, and it is hosted at UT Martin's campus where 32 students are selected, but this year we had an additional couple set of students who were Italian students that came and also participated in our program who aspired to go into the agricultural industry and are looking into those career pathways just like us. So we had a total of 37 students, and to put it to put it into the most simple perspective, I guess Gov School was the most life changing experience I think I've ever been given. So to kind of break it down, you are split into your two different classes. So the classes that I took were agricultural business and precision agriculture. Sorry, I'm trying to like remember. It feels like it was just yesterday, but it was over the summer and now we're going to September. It's crazy. But so my ag business class, we learned all about the different like business and marketing opportunities and perspectives that agriculturalists go through and the importance of just understanding the business market as an agriculturalist. It really put things into perspective for me taking different like small large animal plant science classes at my school, but being able to understand the business side of it was really awesome. And the other class I took was precision ag, and I absolutely loved it. So when I was a sophomore, or excuse me, oh yes, yeah, when I was a sophomore and I competed in prepared public speaking, my speech was over precision agriculture and the importance of it within the agriculture industry, whether that's different autonomous tools, data analytics, just everything of the topic. That was what my speech was over. And I learned everything around that and more in the precision ag class at UT Martin. The professor was absolutely amazing. She was incredible. And we did so many hands on projects that I genuinely sit back and I still all the notes and things we took in our class. I have a big Gov School folder and I keep it in my room. And I hold those memories so close to my heart. Not even just the exceptional education opportunities, but the connections that I had made at Gov School. I still talk to these people on the daily. It's just so amazing. And I had such a wonderful time. Like I thank UT Martin, their staff, their facility, the Department of Education, the Department of Ag, just for giving all of us the opportunity to have that on campus experience. And not only that, but have a better understanding of how we can advocate for agriculture better as youth that we are. I feel like it was so eye opening and literally anytime I try to talk about Gov School, like I honestly try not to cry because genuinely I sit back and I think about our graduation and just seeing like everyone was crying. We were all just being like, bro, I'm gonna miss you. Like I can't believe it's over. It time flies. It time flies doesn't even explain how fast Gov School went by. It went by so fast, but I think that proves even more how impactful it was on me and all the students that attended. So Gov School was absolutely incredible. I'd go back 20 times over, and honestly, it's made me consider college a lot more and really like UT Martin and highly consider going there. So Gov School definitely left a lasting impression on me for sure.
I can definitely say that Martin is a phenomenal campus. I mean, that's where we go for almost every single competition we have over here in West
I love
Tennessee,
it.
and everything is awesome over there. But like, I think I said this on the episode I did with T Wayne about a month ago. At this point, golly. So time really does fly. But I said this on like the episode, like it's been something that of course, I watched like all of y'all's like recap posts that y'all were making, and it looked honestly really, really fun and like exciting. And it's something I've considered. We'll have to see if that comes about
Oh
next
my
year.
goodness.
But
Yes, to anyone consider, like anyone listening, even yourself, Carson, like anyone considering attending governor's school, do it, do it, do it, do it, do it. Literally, like, even if you think like, oh, like, what if my application's not good enough? Like, what if I don't have this experience? Just do it. Like, I mean, what's the worst that's gonna happen? You put your name out there. You put your name. You're having that ambition. I always say this to FFA members and 4-H members, literally anyone striving to do anything. What's the worst that's going to happen? Honestly, you are doing yourself of service being the ambitious and loving person that like you are, and just like going for all these opportunities. Gov school, it is life changing, and taking that step just to apply, it, it it changes you as a person, honestly, because it makes you realize that you're capable of doing more than you can. That's another thing I learned at Gov School. If you think you can't do something, chances are you're just getting in over your head. And you definitely can if you have that genuine passion for it.
I, and you're talking about the passion and everything, and I know you were really passionate about your agricultural advocacy platform. Would you want to share a little bit about what you do over there?
Yes, I definitely can. So, Miracles of Agriculture is my platform online. I started it back in 2022. And for the longest time, it had primarily focused on sharing my journey within the FFA as someone who didn't have an ag background, and just sharing my experiences in FFA and even in 4-H, and just navigating through the different things, just going to contests and just all the different things. I remember just sharing different posts about the places that I went to, things I did in my chapter, just like in hopes of inspiring another FFA member to advocate for ag or just get involved themselves. Um, Miracles of Ag was definitely a way for me to have a supervised agricultural experience that was unique to me and fit the things that I was interested in. So for my SAE, I started out in plant systems, and I still work a lot in plant systems. I do a bunch of volunteer work, helping with different community gardens here in Wilson County, in Lebanon, Tennessee. Um, we hosted this big summer camp where a bunch of kids came and learned all about gardening and the different works of the agriculture industry. It was amazing. But I still focus a lot in plant systems, but Miracles of Ag and the social media aspect of it was really a way for me to be able to share my experiences, but not only that, also learn from other people. I remember I was so scared to start my platform, but it just took putting myself out there and receiving that positive feedback, and even like the constructive criticism, to understand that like this is something I want to do. Like, I want to continuously make an impact on other FFA members through this platform. And Miracles of Ag, it's consistently growing, and it really started to grow even more after attending WLC, which that's a whole nother Washington Leadership Conference. That's a whole nother thing. But Miracles of Ag, it continues to grow. I just released our brand new um education and outreach committee. I'm so excited about that. Carson is a member. Very, very excited for the things that we're going to be doing. Um I have a couple amazing things planned, and we're gonna have this big. Oh, I texted about it, and we have like our big group chat. But I have so many things that I plan to discuss when we all have this Zoom meeting that we're gonna get on. Just the things that Miracles of Ag. The point of the committee is honestly just to bring in representation from all across the state of Tennessee and to get the right amount of advocacy from Middle, West, and East. It I'm so excited about it, and Miracles of Ag continues to grow, and the people that I meet through it, it makes me so happy.
Yeah, back to the the whole committee. The day or yeah, the day that you announced it, I got a notification saying you were tagged in, like that I was tagged in a post, and I'm sitting here and I was in a movie theater watching a movie, and then I open it and I see, all right, West Tennessee, Abby Woodward and me. I instantly text Abby and I was like, wait, so like because we're also serving as like the West Tennessee reporters for FFA and the USA. And
Yeah.
I instantly text her and I was like, "Wow, we really are doing everything together, or something, aren't we?" Or just something a little funny. But like, I was really, really, really excited to see that, and now that I'm able to bring more representation from West Tennessee, really, really excited to get going with all of that.
It makes me so excited.
So, like we were just talking about the committee expansion that you're wanting to, or that you have done with your platform. What are some other ways that you're looking forward to expanding your platform in the future?
Yeah, so the committee definitely is a big opportunity for me to, I guess, expand my platform. But here recently, I've seen there's been definitely a rise in other agricultural platforms and just that advocacy for the agriculture industry online, seeing just different platforms like yours and Abby Woodward's, Layla Crawford, like the list goes on. There's so many agriculturalists that are putting their story out there and showing the stories of other people, and we really need that. Our industry needs that now more than ever. Miscommunications, the perspective thing, it really is just like something that we as agriculturalists did a whole speech on this at the fair, just how we can take advantage of like growing consumer interest and where their food comes from and how it's produced, and just the agriculture industry as a whole. I think that taking advantage of that online is definitely a big thing for me. But expanding my platform, I definitely want to start making impacts off of the screen. So going to different schools and things in person, and like plow programs and FFA are a really good opportunity for that. And not only that, but even like jumping back in on anything outside of like Instagram, which is where my Miracles of Ag mainly kind of lies, but like maybe sharing different YouTube videos and things, just interviewing different farmers and ranchers just across the state, or even just being able to share that different perspective that consumers or just misinformed people in general are not seeing is really, really important to me. And just as an agricultural advocate, an FFA member, a 4 H member, someone who at one point was that misinformed consumer, I definitely want to expand my platform in that sort of aspect.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm in a similar boat with you. Like, there's so many ways nowadays that are like reaching a lot of people. I know like TikTok is one of them. Like, you can go and post like a real style video, and that could possibly reach hundreds of thousands of people, and like that
Yeah.
outreach alone is really, really cool. Um, I know I posted something on one of my accounts, like one of my personal accounts, a few weeks ago, and just the reach was incredible with how many people were able to see it. And then it got me to thinking, like, okay, how can I use this to grow agriculture? How can I use this to grow people's knowledge about stuff? And like I said, there's just so many things at our disposal today that we can easily reach hundreds of thousands of people to
Absolutely.
grow awareness and all that. So I know you were mentioning that your platform started. You kind of started to change your perspective whenever you went to WLC this past year. Would you want to share a little bit about that experience?
Yes, I can. So, WLC, or the Washington Leadership Conference, is a week long experience that so many well, actually, let me say that a little bit differently. Not so many. A decent amount of FA members get the opportunity to have this experience in Washington, D.C., and you get to pretty much mingle with FFA members all across the nation and learn more about how their FFA chapters work, their associations, how their state's agriculture just affects their entire state and affects our FFA organization as a whole. I remember a big part of WLC is just like, why are we here? Like, why are we serving as FFA members to do what we can with what we have where we are? And I still think about that to this day when I work through things within my SAE, within my chapter, as like a chapter officer, a regional officer, just taking advantage of what we have, seeing like everything we have where we are, and just being able to really take advantage of that to make an impact is really something I learned at WLC. So for me, I actually went week 6, which was the last week, and it was so I don't think I would have chosen to go another week. Just seeing all of the facilitators, it was their last time putting on like a week long conference, and they were just so emotionally sad, but so full of joy that they were able to, like, put this on. It was just so amazing, and another big aspect of WLC was our Living to Serve plan, which is how I got the idea of the Miracles of Ag Committee. I literally remember so vividly just sitting in our room. So I was a part of the foresters group, and we would sit in like this big circle and just talk about like our goals for the future, the things we had learned at WLC that day. And I remember sitting down and asking just those people from across the different states, do y'all think like this committee would be a good idea? And all of them just giving their like feedback and their opinions, their ideas. A lot of people, like pretty much everyone was just like, yeah, Miracle, like you should go back and do this in your state. Like this would be really cool. And now I'm seeing the committee being made, just like it's crazy to me in the best way possible. But even other than the connections, WLC, we got to tour our nation's most phenomenal monuments, just seeing a bunch of important, really important people like in our legislation and just as FFA members, just it was a really humbling experience being able to learn more about our nation, why we as FFA members are quite literally living to serve throughout our time as FFA members. And even when we aren't technically FFA members anymore, our organization is forever going to be in our hearts. And WLC is definitely an experience that'll forever be in my heart that I will always look back on. I was actually just talking to one of my friends um here on Instagram. His name is Dylan. He's from the Oregon FFA Association. He's so precious, and I got to meet him at WLC, and we talked about how our contest differed and the different things our Tennessee FFA does compared to the Oregon Association. And he was certainly not the only member I met at WLC that left just this lasting impression on me, truly showed me the kind of influence I can make in my community. And just to sum it up, WLC was absolutely incredible. I recommend it to anyone who just has that time in their summer. It was in July. I don't remember the exact dates, but I want to say it was more towards the end of July. But if you have that passion to just learn more about FFA, I learned more about FFA than I ever had going to WLC. If you have that ambition, do it. WLC is definitely the experience for you.
I can definitely say from like like another like I was saying with the governor school stuff. Like I was watching most like every single post that y'all are making, like just showcasing everything that y'all are learning, doing, and and all of that. And I don't know why I didn't bite the bullet and go this year. Like, I thought about it back last fall. I was like, yeah, I really want to do it next year. I want to do that, and go. I don't know why I
Yeah.
didn't. But now that I know I've only got 1 year left to go and do it, I'm going to go and do it. Um, it's definitely something I'm really looking forward to. One of the many things I'm going to look forward to over the next year. And
Yeah.
yeah, I think it does do a lot for so many people from like an outsider's perspective. It does possibly change perspectives on a lot of different people's views. So I have two more questions that I wanted to ask, and the second to last one is, how would you encourage a person to become an advocate for agriculture?
I absolutely love this question. So I always talk about just within my FFA journey, like I never came from an ag background, and now suddenly I just had this big ambition, and that's completely true. But what about someone that doesn't have that same experience? What about someone who just looks at us as FFA members and is like, yeah, that seems cool, but how did they get there? Like, what if you're just unsure about FFA, about agriculture, about the whole thing? But something I would tell to another FFA member or anyone just trying to learn more about our organization, just keep an open mind and an open heart. I think throughout anything that I've ever tried to do, I try to have an open heart and an open mind just to have that mindset for me personally to be open to different perspectives, to learn, take everything out of every single experience that I ever get to have just within FFA and even once I graduate and go on to college and all the things like that. But just keep your mind and your heart open. Just being able to allow people to leave an impact on you, to not just kind of be stuck in your own perspectives, in your own ways. I feel like I kind of used to be the person that like I knew how I wanted things. I knew what I wanted my future to be. And now as a senior, it's completely different. When I was a freshman, I thought I wanted to go to school and do theater and be an actor and do all the things, be your next Broadway star. But now I I just want to be able to graduate and continue sharing the stories of agriculture, whether that's working for Tennessee Farm Bureau or I plan on specifically going for agricultural law because that is a particular field that interests me the most. I really love just the government and political just aspect of it. I think advocacy in our legislation is a really important thing. That's something that's going to be prioritized in Miracles of Ag with the committee, and that's something that I really want to prioritize in the future. But just I guess I'd tell an FFA member that no matter what you want to do, keep your mind open because life is so subject to changes. You never know what's going to happen. You can't determine what the future is going to hold, but you can determine the mindset that you have as you navigate through life.
Yeah, and one thing that really came to my mind while you were answering that question is, so with our FFA and the USA team, we have 140 people from across all the states in Puerto Rico, and
Wow.
it's really cool to just sit back and see everybody's like perspective on stuff, because you have all these people. Like, our task this past month was to write SAE articles, and I
Yeah.
was sitting back and reading a good bit of the ones that have got published already, and like just seeing how people are in the agricultural industry at our age and just making a big impact is really 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 inspiring. And I know many people around the well many students rather around the world or around the country may have that want and drive to become an advocate or become somebody in the industry. And it could start easily from those articles that are being published every, I think, month. Yeah, we're monthly or something like that. um but it could start there. And like, I think one of the biggest things for me is like to just nurture that growth. I I preached on this in my state fair speech. Like, my biggest saying is like, you can plant the seed for like a person in agriculture, but if you don't go back and nurture the growth of that same seed, then you're not going to have you're not going to have anything from it.
Oh, I love that.
And
That is so iconic. Oh my goodness.
I don't know where it came about, but I was writing my speech and then I randomly just said, like, I randomly just thought about that, and I was like, yeah, that might work well. But
Oh, the plant nerd within me just loves that slogan so much.
but it's, like I said, it's something, if you don't go back and nurture that growth, you're not gonna have a good offspring, is how I'm gonna put it, because I can't think of a better word right now.
Yeah.
But I think like us advocates have that power. Like, we can easily go, like I said, we can plant the seed, we can grow the seed, and then we can have those people then go on to do the same thing over and over and over. And then, like you said, there's been a very decent increase in platforms across like Instagram and everywhere else. And I think it's really, really cool to see all that coming about and, growing even more than it has in the past. So the last question I do have for you is, what advice would you give to a student that is hesitant to get involved in FFA?
Most definitely. I feel like something I would tell to a student that's hesitant in getting involved in FFA, I would definitely tell them that FFA is, as the saying goes, more than just cows, plows, and sows. There's so many opportunities in FFA, whether that's public speaking, just leadership, or you do want to get involved in the different animal science, plant science, ag communications. There's so many opportunities out there. And for someone that didn't come from that background, like my SAE literally started with little research projects of just learning more about the history of our FFA and creating little posters that would go in my advisor's room, because I used to love being students would look at me like, wow, this is like really, really cool. And just I would tell an FFA member that no matter what you want to do at the time, be involved in FFA, because it can guide you to where you really want to be. Like I said, I used to thought I wanted to be an actor, but now like everything has changed so much, and I feel like it's truly changed for the better. And just being in FFA, a better understanding of the opportunities and careers that I can go down, just be a part of, that are really going to benefit my future and allow me to benefit other people's future.
Yeah, I definitely agree with everything that you just said about, getting members involved. And I know, like I said earlier, like the whole our chapter's outreach to freshmen initiative that we're having, like I mean, it's scary to just, take that big step. But once you
Yeah,
take that step, you're gonna see the benefits of it. And you're gonna realize how many opportunities there truly is, and you're not gonna want to leave like that. I mean, that's what usually happens with some members. So unfortunately,
absolutely.
unfortunately, that is all that I have for this episode. So is there any like closing remarks that you'd like to give?
Oh my goodness. Well, of course, thank you so much for having me. I have watched so many of your podcast episodes, and I'm so proud of everything that you're doing, Carson. Like, you should genuinely be so proud of the impact that you're making on FFA members. And I guess just to anyone that's listening to this, join FFA, get involved, and if not joining FFA, find something that you're passionate about and go for it so full-heartedly that you won't even have any regrets that you did what you did.
So thank you for being on the podcast today, Miracle. I've truly enjoyed hearing your story. And unfortunately, that is all that I have for this week, guys. But thank y'all for listening, and I will see y'all back next week on Empowering the Future of Agriculture.